Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I want to talk about topical authority on your website. Now, what this means in simplest terms is Google is going to put your website into a box, and whatever category you seem to have the most knowledge about, or whatever category your website seems to be about, Google is going to operate with the presumption that your site has authority in that particular subject. And another way to say this is too, if you go off topic too much on your website, then those pieces of content, you should not expect to have them rank. Google is going to attribute authority to your site in the category that, one, you most seem to represent over time, and two, if the content on your site that you're writing about, your main topic, people seem to respond to it, if people seem to link to it, if people seem to have positive user signals when they're reading or consuming or watching your content, then that will all be a good sign. Now, the reason why I bring this up is, oftentimes you'll see websites that try and go outside of the category which they want Google to identify them with. Or they try and be an expert in multiple categories all at once. And what happens is Google gets very confused. And they're not sure what category that you have topical authority in. If you split your blog into 5 or 6 different categories, and you're writing about all of them, in somewhat equal proportions, then Google doesn't know what your site is all about. This could be a reason that your site is not ranking as well as it should be. If Google is confused about what your site is really about. Now, some sites can be about a region. Could be, you look at some sites, there's regional sites like a business journal type site. That's pretty obvious. Those are about the metro areas in which they're based. There are other websites out there that are dedicated to a certain metro area. So if you're writing about different subjects within a city, then Google knows that it's about arts and culture and, food and entertainment within that city, but it knows the overarching category is that city. Now, if your blog, for instance, if it's talking about marketing and it's talking about stuff in the city and it's talking about maybe different startups in the city, and then it's jumping over to business and web design and all this different stuff, then it's hard for Google to put all that stuff in one distinct category. The reason why I bring this up too, there's another thing that I discovered when I was making this big pivot from web design to SEO, and that is, Google initially put my original domain name, which was lockdowndesign.com. It put it very distinctly in the category of talking about web development and web design. And when I was making the pivot to SEO, there was many, many things that I had to do, and it took some time to even get some of the stuff ranking for SEO, and it's still not, I don't think it'll ever be like 100% like that. But Google very much sees internet marketing and SEO and web design and web development as 2 very distinct buckets. So this is something to consider when you're talking about your business site or your industrial site. So if your website is all about HVAC, air conditioning, heating and cooling, then you should stick to talking about just subjects on HVAC, heating and cooling, air conditioning. Don't stretch it out into, home improvement and home ownership and real estate and all this other stuff. Because what will happen is Google will get confused. So the easiest thing with topical authority, that's the first thing you do. Keep on a consistent subject. The other thing that you can do is, make sure that you distribute, publicize, promote, get the word out whenever you have new pages or new blog posts or new articles or resources on your site. Be sure to promote that stuff on social media. Promote it to your email list. Try and get traction to that site. If you can get other sites within your network to link to those new pages, that'll be great. That'll be awesome. But you want to show Google that your web pages, your resources, your articles on your website are meaningful and that people are responding to them and they are getting some traction. Notably, you want links. Social shares are probably good, but you want to, basically stick to each subject. Write compelling stuff that resonates with human beings, and, you'll be on your way. Topical authority. A very important thing. Don't split your blog into, 4 or 5 different categories. The only exception to that would be, sites that are talking about general culture or, the scene within a particular city or metro area. Those would be the only exceptions to that rule that I would say. But if you're just a general business site, keep it on one track. That's the easiest way to go. My name is John Locke. My business is Lockedown Design and SEO, and I'm here on a daily basis making videos on SEO. And hey, we're over 600 subscribers. I would love to see us get to 1,000. So go ahead and subscribe. And I'll be here tomorrow. Until next time, peace.